Everyone, just wait a couple of minutes and then we'll get started.
Morning, Roger.
Good morning, Mr. Munir Murray. Yo, well bloody done. Yeah. There's a cat JPY doing this. I don't know how he manages that. Bit of genius there. It doesn't seem doing anything. Well bloody done. I'll bet, yeah, puts you in a good mood, eh? The trading hit. Yeah, well done, well done. Yeah, so let's get started. To be honest, Jethro, I don't know how I managed to pull that off because, as I say, I've been around a while in this business, and I tell you what, I've never seen such indecision in my life. It's absolutely total indecision. I was in a strategy room this morning. They're talking about market volatility. We might not get a trade out today. Well, actually, no. You want volatility. You don't want the thing to sit still like my old good pal NGAS when just don't seem to do much. Well, not quite true. It does move a bit, but what you want is decision. You want volatility, but you want decision. And it's basically, it's flicking a coin at the moment on the floor. The dollar could strengthen a bit, then it comes off a bit. A good trade looks okay, and then from a buyer, and the seller gets a bit upset, then he comes off. The seller's upset, and the buyer's fed up. It's incredible. And yeah, so I don't know what to say on that, Jethro. It's to me the stroke of bloody genius that how you manage that, because this is complete indecision at the moment. How we're going to call any of it is going to be very difficult. So I think the trading room going into the weekend, I think it's going to be discuss ideas, discuss the football or something if you want, a bit of clarity. But we might find a couple of trades. I thought we wouldn't, then we do. But I think be very careful because, as I say, it's here in the morning, it's good in the afternoon, here back in the evening. It's just all over the place. And as I say, it's the smart money doesn't know. How the hell can we know? And the smart money does not know. And not just know what about interest rates, but that is the interpretation can be sometimes unfathomable. I'm going to go back to my good friend the dollar rand. I mean, what on earth is happening here? It makes absolutely no sense. You know what I'm saying? Because we had a bit of dollar strength, a bit of dollar average, a bit of weakness, but the rand, in theory, should be weakening, not strengthening. So that's why, hang on, just one of our regular clients is called, just have to see it. In fact, a few people saying back in the trading room, maybe internet, just a second. Okay, I've had a few people call up and say, have we changed the code? I can't get into the trading room. Trust me, if the code's going to be changed, send out not just to my group, but Jack, who's our manager in the office there, he's in Houston at the moment, has about half a dozen groups, which covers about everybody, I would say so. Probably even post it somewhere on the MT5. If we change it, which is unlikely, I don't see why we should, it will be, believe you me, we'll be notified not once, but ad nauseum, so you know, because it's such a vital part of what we offer. So we wouldn't just say, we changed it and you won't know about it. Believe me, you would. I'll be mentioning it here and here and here and on WhatsApp and WhatsApp, giving you notice 5 days, 4 days to go, etc. Make sure everyone understands that. So yeah, it's almost certainly, what is the trading ID? I don't know. Hang on, what is the trading ID? Just give me a second. Don't know how to find it anyway. Just a second, sorry guys.
There, I posted for you, Rog.
Please, thank you. Yes, it is. Thank you. Yeah, it's exactly because he's just asked that. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the trouble there. Thanks for the initiative. Yeah.
That's the ID that I used this morning to get
yeah. Yeah. Because I might press the wrong button trying to find the damn thing and start all over again. So yeah, okay, thank you. So anyway, you just post it. It's actually Gerard. He's quite a regular here, and so I will take the trouble to help him out by saying yes, it is the same one, and thank you for helping me out. That's exactly what he posted. So no, that's the ID for the trading room, Anna Marie. So just wanted to confirm it's the right ID. He's back to get in, so you will probably find it. Whatever, he'll do whatever he has to do the software side, his side. Anyway, going back to where was I on track here? So when it happens like this, I just don't understand. To me, that is a close to a no-brainer as a buyer I've come across, but we're just not getting anywhere. So as I say, when these sort of things happen, it means it's a decision, and when indecision, irrationality comes out, and yeah, just be careful at the moment. Unless you see some sort of brilliant one, which I thought this one was, I'm not going to be posting today, discuss, because we want this market to sit down and get a direction. And that's really what we're talking about here. Okay, fine. Good morning. Now, that's why I just can't get over the fact you get your TPs on there, because that's quite something. Okay, let's just look back at a couple of trades we've got going at the moment. The shares are sort of jumping up, not much happening there. So much point of going over that and check it out later on. The dollar's come off a bit. Well, could have gone up. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what's. It's just ridiculous. I don't think they know either. It's dropped a little bit down. Will it continue there or go up? I'm not sure I can make that call. I don't think many people can. A lot of guys making the same sort of statement and ask that question, to shrug their shoulders and say like this, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's also true, Jethro. You'll find it going into holidays, it'll be thinner trading. So smaller guys can actually move the market. What does that mean? Basically, if you've got not 1 million people trading, maybe I'm exaggerating here to try to make the point, 100 people trading, a smaller guy can actually move the markets because the sheer volume, okay, it becomes more consequential. So that could be some of it. And the casual traders, when you get casual traders, unfortunately, they're more emotional and logic, and then funny things can happen. I always use the, if anyone can play poker, that as an analogy. Jethro happens to be a superb poker player, and he plays, well, I can't play poker, but let's say I'm a sort of a bit of a beginner. He's going to find it very difficult to read me because I don't know what's going on. I'll fold on a good hand and call on a bad hand, and not bluff because I just don't know. And so it'll be very, very difficult for Jethro, however good he is, to read that because there's no particular pattern because I don't know the game. And that's what's actually happening at the moment, if you get what I'm driving at. Okay, So yeah, and as I say, since the advent of the retail trader, which most strategy on the retail trader is more emotions than logic, you do get some funny movements. I don't know if you play blackjack, drawing on the 17 when you should be sticking, and then you suddenly draw a 4 to get the 21. Well, that's just astounding luck. A guy knows what he's doing would have stuck on the 17, if you see what I mean. And that's at the moment I'm a little bit contending with that sort of attitude. Okay, yeah. So I take your point. It's probably got something to do with it, but it makes it difficult to read. Anyway, going back to what we've got at NZD-CHF 89.81. Very much is happening there. NZD-CHF seems to be a bit of a profit, which is good. But okay, we're about 20 pips profit. No, sorry, about 10 pips, 15 pips profit at the moment. Better than nothing. But let's go back to shorter term to illustrate the point. In fact, we're doing the shorter term as well. All right, it's popping around, popped up a bit there, popped down, popped up, drifting along. Okay, you can see on this one here. Indecision yesterday, not much of a decision the day before, indecision the day before that. And it looks like the sellers are coming in. It tries to pop up, but it's not getting any movement on the sell side. But the buyers suddenly are popping in, as at the moment this morning and from yesterday, it's just drifting around a bit. And that is purely because everyone's waiting to see what some leader's going to do, push it up or down or whatever. Waiting for something to break out, break the chain or whatever. Not very well put, but I hope you get sort of my drift. And yeah, that's it. So it's not losing or winning much. It just seems frustration more than anything else. We've got a sell out on gold. That did pretty well. And then it bounced. Same old story about every single instant moment. Did pretty damn well. Came off to about 87 yesterday. Then it popped up to 96. Now it's coming back off again. It seems to be holding at the moment on the 200. So the guys who are short, I think, are on the correct side of it. But it's very difficult to call. I mean, you'll say, well, I think that it'll come off. I wouldn't put the trade idea out, but I wouldn't be stunned if it suddenly jumps up because it's a little bit all over the place. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, to stick with the trade, it seems to be trying to move down. So let's see if we can get some DC out of that one. The dollar Zara mentioned for those who want the extra costs and want to do the exotic. I'm going to stick with that trade at 17.10. It seems to be holding that level, but it's not getting going. Surprise, surprise. Right, another one was Jethro's. I'm glad you're back in here, Jethro. This is a classic example of what happened. I was not keen on it. I'll be up. I was scared, not keen on it. And you're on for a sell. Well, let's just look at this particular depth. Look what happened yesterday. It came off nicely. Well done, Jethro. Then what happens? Bang, it bounces up. Now it went up to, in fact, this morning to 48 pips in the negative. So, well, 0 to 0, you get the idea. Well, 0 is probably a bit of a rough way of putting it, but you see what I mean. So, well done. And then, oh, what's going on here? So again, we got that situation of Seth with us doing is at the moment, where I think the Euro CHF about 6-7 weeks ago, I was for a short, years for a long, and we actually both won. It came off, modified the stop loss, got kicked out in the profit, shut up. He modified the stop loss and got kicked out in the profit. So, in the casino, you put red and black loses. We're getting occasion with the red and black either can win or can both lose. And that's what it makes it even more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Get the concept I'm coming from. That's where I say it is not like this all the time. I wouldn't have survived the business so long if it was, clearly. But when it happens like that, just be somewhat circumspect. Okay, all right. Okay, anything else? That's all we really had out at the moment. A couple of shares we got out, waiting for the CAD JPY to do something. It's not doing anything. Whether you want to buy it or sell it, it's not happening. CHF JPY, normally like to buy it. Look at this, not happening. And so I'm not trying to put you off. I'm trying to be realistic here. Everyone confuses sometimes positivity with hope. I'm very positive about passing my exam. Do I mean that? I've done this study, by the way. And why do I fail it? Well, it's not because I was positive, because I was hopeful for being lazy, not studying. Same thing. That mix up being positive with being hopeful. And yeah, thank you for that waffle. Yeah, I agree. I've got it written down here, this one, and a Brent as a buy. I want to get at 163. I'm getting, ever heard of dyslexia? Yeah, I want to get at 136. It popped below that, got it written down. Other stuff happened this morning. And yeah, it's very, very much battling to get to that 10-day moving average. But I think never mind the 10-day, it's more drifting because people don't know which way the dollar's going. Look at yesterday's candle. This is a day chart, don't forget. It was a 5-minute chart. It's a day chart. Look at that and look at that. So to be honest, yes, it's the upside, but I'm very, very circumspect on it. So yeah, don't quite know what to say. But yeah, I see upside, but it might get. I have no idea, to be honest. This is all experience in the world. It's a flick of the coin at the moment. Yeah. Do I think we're going to get a bit of dollar upside? Yes, I do. And it does go up and it comes back again. So yeah, I do. But if you want to take that risk, it's up to you. We can put a stop below here somewhere. That's too far away. Just got to put a stop down here somewhere. If you, I tell you what, I hate to say this, my friend, but if you want to take a punt, buy it. If you're not into the punting game, maybe just leave it. Okay, that's my impression. German 30. Oh, you got it sorted out. Yeah, well done. Right. Oh, you can sell them. You'd be absolutely correct. I'm telling you what, Farney and Jethro, you're both correct. How's that? If there's a cop out, I don't know, a better one than that one, but you're both correct. Okay. So you just flick your coin. Remember that Clint Eastwood film? Do you feel lucky, punk, or do you? Well, same sort of principle. Okay. Dirty Harry, I think it's that one anyway. Before most of your time, okay. Yeah, so up to you.
I think if I go in now, it's going to be revenge trend trading because it knocked me this morning.
Well, okay. Well, then maybe I'll tell you what. The best way to look at it is this. I'm being tongue-in-cheek, but I call it the biggest rule of what Sod's law. If you go in, it's revenge trade, not backfire. If you don't go in, it'll shoot up. And now you're annoyed. You wish you had. Heads you lose, tails you lose. Yeah. Oh yeah, just some fresh on the screen. Don't forget PPIs coming up later on today. The US PPI, that is, producer price index. So that's coming up as 3. That might have some bearing. I don't know. Who knows? And even it does, it's positive or negative in theory. What's the interpretation going to be like? So it's going to be interesting. But let's do the 4-hour. Look at that. Look at this 4-hour. That's 4 to 8 this morning. Look at that there. This is now nearly 2 hours old. Look at this there. Yeah, I can't call that. That's a flip of the coin. Sorry. And don't say I told you so, Jethro, if it goes down. Don't say I told you so, fine if it goes up. At this stage, I don't. Okay. The other one, Brent. Now, I just personally think that's seriously oversold, but it doesn't seem to be able to get going. Let's go to the 4-hour. Look at this. It just can't seem to get going. However, look at this line in the sand I had for us. I didn't put it in now, by the way. I put it a couple of days ago. Trying to say that's not cheating. I think we put it in after the event. But it seems to be holding on the body, this one here. So maybe there's an option here of a buy. And you think, well, hang on, where's it? Looks clear in the sell zone. But do you think it's a bit undervalued? Remember, might be the buy zone is overvalued, the sell zone is undervalued. Do I see a little bit of undervaluing here? Maybe I'm grasping here, but support there on the weekly. I'm grasping a little bit of support there. So I've got that line in, had in for a few days now. Maybe we get some buyers nipping at it. In fact, maybe we can do a sort of an aggressive pump trade, unless you want to sell it, you think of a buy, where you put a. Keeps doing this. Why keeps doing this? Bloody hell.
I'm not working. These are my savings. My savings are dying, like drying up.
It's in me, so I'm going to knock it off.
Please mute, please.
Yeah, thank you. I've muted you all anyway, but yeah. I had to make sure, maybe there was a question there wasn't. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, so what do you think? Maybe a tight stop, maybe we normally do, well, I normally do $4. Do you think it's worth the risk for a $2 stop and take a punt for a little bit of a bounce? Almost a scalping short-term trade. Maybe we can get up to maybe $80, maybe a $2 sort of a stop with an $80 TP. For the trade, we ain't going to put it out. Just going to throw it up there if you're feeling bored and aggressive without getting too big. What about a little move to $80? What about that? We're on the day chart. We got there yesterday, not quite. Got there the day before. Yes, it did. What do you think? You seem to be defending here. Maybe a little $2 stop somewhere. What do you think? I'm grasping on here because I think we're going to have some battles to get me what I'd call high probability trades out. Okay. What's your WL ratio? I'm putting so good. I'll follow you later. What's your? Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. Check through the start. Okay. Should we try it? Eh? This is a punt, guys. For goodness sake, remember that. I think we might get a bounce here. We'll put a $2 stop. What's that? 74.67 or whatever it is at the moment. And then we try a straight 80. See if you can get there, or at least get some of the way there and take a profit. $34 a micro. There you are, 34 rand a micro. So do you want to have a go at that? If you're so scared of it, you say, I'm going to go 1 micro and a 10 grand account is 34. Don't bother, you're wasting your time. It's like you got money and you go into the casino on the 1 rand table, 1 rand. You can do daft things, you get bored because it's underexposed. So yeah, don't overdo it, but don't underdo it. Got to make your mind up. Do I see it? Maybe get something there. Okay. So there you are. Let's have a bit of a punt to see if we can get a bit of a bounce on that one. What do you reckon? Not traders. What do you reckon, punters? Okay. I need at least 2 punters to join this one. At least a big one this day. Morning, Morris. Jethro is going for the punt. Morris, good man. Okay, so I'm going to put down this as a punt trade. Brent, buy 76.62, 74. Stick the 67 rand just now, and $80. See if it goes. If it gets to 78, you can either take it or put your stop up just above for your entry to cover costs and see if you can do that or take it or whatever. This is a bit of a punt trade. You're in Cape Pietro, trying to get the pronunciation right. Okay. Let's see how that happens. I just hope all the guys didn't do a punt. We could laugh at them and say, hang on, hey, we did it. Right. Go back to dollar yen. No, I don't know. I think we've got more chance, in my opinion, with the Brent than dollar yen. I think that's no. All right. Sorry to put the doom and gloom in you guys, but I'm being honest, and I think you'd rather be honest and not trade than be all highly positive and it comes back and spills over. Okay. Right, go back to gold. Seems to be trying to happen. What are we getting on gold anyway? 70, that's right, 92. So it's about even Steve at the moment. But let's have a look at shorter term. What's happening here? Trying to come off head. Trying to, let's see. I personally think going into the weekend, I think we can get a little bit of a bounce on the dollar. I think it's going to be, something it's going to be, remember the DXY is a tradable instrument, not on this platform, but internationally certainly is. And they call it squaring your books going to the weekend. A lot of big guys say we're going to square our books. In other words, they're going to close a lot of certain positions, others will leave running just to go into the weekend. And if you're closing a short, which they probably almost certainly are, that's why it's been pushed down. They've been shorting the DXY. They might be closing it to square their books, like I mentioned. And what happens when you close a short, you've got to buy to exit. So you might get a little bit of a bounce. Get a little bit of a bounce, might get a bit of a movement south on the gold. So there we go. So keep on hanging on there. If you short the gold, we might get it. Whether it gets to 1750 or not, I think it'll depend on fundamentals. Without that, it might drift around a bit with this kind of indecision going on. Okay. So we didn't. Asked and I forgot. Asked and not answered, as they say in these American law things. Right. Not much happening. Why? Are you shorted or no? We haven't. But I'm looking at pound yen in a minute. Not a problem. It might be interesting there. Okay, good stuff. What do you want to do with this, if anything? I'm still a short the rally man, whatever the decision. My decision, I'm sticking with it, is short the rally. So if you're not in it, I think it's looking like a short there. It's gone down, come back up on a technical basis. This is quite a good, example. What happens? It breaks below the support level and then goes back and tests it, and in this theory should come off, which is trying to do, and that would be a sell area. So I would look at that as a sell, even though I know it's in the about to cross the moving average, gold cross or whatever. I think we can get some downside there. Do I think it's a trade idea to go in now? Probably not. I would sit in my hands at the moment on it. But the guns against your head, Gerard. I'm going to shoot you if you don't go into a trade. Which way are you going to go? You haven't got any choice in the matter. Probably a short. But you have got a choice, because I haven't got a gun against your head. So I'm suggesting you leave it alone. Okay. Oh, you went in yesterday. Did you go and do you sell it or do you buy it? So I went in yesterday, sell it. Okay. Well, there you are. Went down and then. In 4 words, you summed it up. Went down and then. Went long, went up and then. Exactly. So yeah, I would. I'm on your side in the short. Hang on in there. Short the rally. Yeah. Okay. Right. That's about all I can say for now. Richard, to make sure everyone's clear what I'm trying to say, doesn't get the wrong end of the stick. Okay. Oh yes, that's right. Good stuff. Remember, Jethro. What was that again? GBP JPY. Let's make sure. Check it again. GBP JPY. Yeah, it's hovering. It's holding on the buy zone. As a matter of fact, on the daily, it's hovering above there. But again, no follow through. Like a stat record here, no solid follow through. Okay, and look at this, look at this, look at this. You get where I'm coming from, guys, with the charts. You want to be able to look at it and tell immediately what the buyers are doing. Remember I put that thing up yesterday. I think I saved it. I hope I did. If you want to look at it again. About, I forgot what I was saying now. Lost my track there. Completely lost my track. Oh, yes, that's right. We want to look at it within 20 seconds to get an idea what's going on. Well, I think 20 seconds too long. I think with a bit of practice, with an uncluttered chart, you can see immediately, and immediately look at that, I see immediately the 50 days holding, and immediately the sellers are defending that. Now I've got to check the distance. On some charts, that might be 50 pips, another one might be 150. So I've got to check that distance. Yeah, it's only 60 on this one. Okay. But see what I mean? So would you want to buy it? Well, no, because look at the seller defending it. Would I want to sell it? Well, no, because it's not got any movement. So you've got to risk, remember costs and all sorts of things, funny things happening. Yeah, to make, maybe you're lucky to make 40, 45 pips or something like that, but you've got to risk something to get there. Is it worth the risk? I personally don't think so. If you feel lucky and you want to take a punt, there, go for it. But no. Do you understand what my thinking is? That should be immediately leave it alone. As you say, Anna-Marie, leave it alone. And that's what I want you guys to do, is get where you got it set up, and it, not 20 seconds is too long. I'm going to give you an example. Let's just pick it. Don't remember what I'll pick. Anybody, what I'll pick here. Try this one. Bang. Try this one. Right. Okay. Not enough. Squeeze in a bit. Right, overbought, being defended, leave it alone. I'm looking maybe if it does come to sell, but why would I want to sell it? Because it's such a big momentum, and it's been defended on the buy, and there's indecision on the sell. Bang, bang, bang. Leave it alone. That's well within 20 seconds. You get where I'm coming from. And with a practice, you'll get there, because you don't want to spend time on something that's not going to work for you. Okay. I mean, you're in business, Mark. Great to have you here. Are you going to spend a long time and effort on the customer when you're pretty damn sure he hasn't got the money or the interest to buy your product you're trying to sell? No. What for? And he's not a mate of yours. You've never met him before. Why would you want to spend time chatting to him about something you know you're not going to conclude any business? You know what I mean? Not just you're wasting your time, basically he's wasting his time or her time as well. So why waste your time on something you're not going to be doing any business with? Go on to something else until you find, this looks good. Let's dive into it. What do you think, Jethro? What do you think, guys out there? What do you think, Mark, Farley, whatever, Anna Marie? Does this look like a good idea? Now you're getting back up. We get a consensus. We put a stop TP in. We work out the volumes. That's our strategy. Now we have an SL in because we can't for sure it's going to work out. So protect ourselves in case it doesn't. And you get in and you go for it. That's in a nutshell what it's about. Okay. And that is really, with a bit of practice, takes all well, I can take the emotion out at all. That's impossible. It takes some of the emotion out and gets some rationality coming into it. And that's what we asked for. Yeah, basically, yes. Yeah. In fact, you know, people want to be polite. The call center calls you up. You don't want to be rude, but the guy probably prefer it, because if you don't want to know, give him a quick no or her a quick no, so you can move on to the next one. But you don't want to waste the time, so you engage and be polite, and then just wasted 5 minutes on the phone chat through with no prospective business coming out of it, and you could have been on to somebody else. Yeah. You think polite by sitting on the fence and being friendly, rather be a harsh no, so the person can move on. I've been in sales a no, and I've had quite a few yes that wouldn't have survived, but I've very, 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 very ever heard a no. I used to get what we call the fob offs. Must discuss with my wife. I'll think about it. Time's not right now. Can you call me next month? Blah, blah, blah. These are fob offs. Rather say no. Harsh that it might be. So at least you know where you stand and move on to the next one. So my decision on this one is no, move along. Okay. Let's move on, see how Brent's doing. Right, sorry, punters, 10 cents down, but not into the panic stage yet. So often people say to me, I'm a bit harsh and loud and direct. But I think be harsh and loud and direct, then, oh yeah, seems like a good idea, blah, 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 yeah. And in the end, you know, you don't get what you're looking for. CAD CHF. What's she saying there? Testing levels last seen December 2020. Would there be an option to buy? Right, I'll throw Jethro on this one. Jethro, what are you going to say tomorrow? Should we buy the CAD? Are you comfortable enough as yet to buy the Canadian dollar? That's the major question I'm going to ask. What do you think? Oh, shame. Okay, we'll come back to it. Right, what do you look to buy the Benny? Oh, no, it's actually came halfway there. We've got a fun punt trade out. This is the punters trade, not the trades, the punters trade. And we've got a very, very tight stop for fun for $2 with about just under about a $3.50 TP, just for something to do. We're aware of the risks, so we thought we'd do it. And I was quite open about it, so just for fun, see how it goes. We're not only big, so I've written it down. A couple of guys going for punt on that one. But other than that, to answer your question there, no, this is not me saying revenge trade or whatever. It's a bit like the Canadian. I'm not confident yet the Canadian dollar's out of the woods. You know what I mean? That, yeah, Anne-Marie, I would agree on that. In fact, most of them I'd agree on this. Look at Monday, hopefully. It's not going to be another Monday, then you will see, if you know what I mean by that. Yeah, I take your point entirely. It's a bit like basically a punt on the what you would call it, on the Brent, but it's had a hell of a move down, like get some buyers. But I thought that here, we definitely thought that here, and look what happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that it might pop up. In fact, I think, to be honest, I'm slightly more likely we might get a bit of a profit-taking bounce here. But that's not good enough to put real money on it. If you're bored, go to your demo and put a couple of bucks of your demo money on it. Yeah, cluck, cluck. I agree, Jethro. Remember you called the yen the other day as getting some weakness coming in? Well, I personally don't see any weakness, strength coming. The Canadian to give me buy it. Only reason that'll bounce is profit taking. It's nothing to do with Fibonacci, trend lines, buy support, buy Bollinger Bands, strength or weakness of either of those currencies. It's purely exiting a trade, which gives it a bounce. You do it, no disrespect, ain't going to affect the market. But a few thousand people do it, collectively, it will, and you get a bit of a jump up, simply because they're buying to exit, not because they're buying to buy new, if you see what I'm getting at. So that's not good enough for me. So I hear you, Marius, and that's, I'm not convinced about the Canadian at the moment. I'm slightly more, whatever reason, I'm slightly more convinced to get a bounce in Brent, because I can see some logic that producers start to do something about it. This one, at the moment, not as yet, no. So I'm going to put it slightly better. Ha, 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 Mark. I agree there could be a buy, but Aish, I'm putting my tail between my legs and running. I think I'll put it much better that way. Oh, hang on, no, I just plagiarized it from Zed. But yeah, totally. Okay, hope that answers your question. Call me chicken. Find somebody who's a fox who can like it, but not me. Okay. There's a lot of resistance there. I think there's going to be some TPs triggered and a little bit of a bounce. I agree, from traders closing their position. The problem is we don't know the extent of that bounce. You know what I'm saying? If you've got no costs and you're going to grab, let's say, 5 pips or 6 pips or something, no problem. I probably agree with you. But no, I do not know the extent of the bounce. That's why I'll be careful. But there's a lot of resistance there, and it's borne out in the daily yesterday. So yeah, I agree with like the bounce. I understand the extent of it. So if you want to do it, and you want, that's your money. It's up to you personally. Sitting in this position is slightly different responsibility. So I'm going to have to play by the rules and say, leave it alone. Sometimes it's wise to be a chicken. This is one I've got in as well as a CAD JPY. It just doesn't seem to get going either. This one I want to buy, but it cannot break above there. So if it comes back again to around about 145.20-ish area, I'll buy it. And maybe it'll break through this time. If it doesn't, I still made a profit. That's one I'd like you to keep an eye on. Okay. If you can find a trade, tell me. If not, we can spend some time going over stuff. Anybody experienced wants to ask a couple of questions on a few things, on the understanding. Anyone new wants to ask a couple of things, that's fine. No, I don't think at all. I'm going to leave the dollar alone. I'm looking at the hourly charts, and it's just, I'm not going to leave it alone. I can't call it, Zeph. What I think I don't know. In fact, I don't think I know. I know I don't know. PPI might give us direction, but that's 3:30 this afternoon, for goodness sake. There is no direction, bottom line. So if you want clarification and a few questions you want to ask anybody there and understand margin calling, leverage, what we mean when we say derivatives, contract size, how to find out by going to specifications, what lines are, anything like that. We can, here we go, bloody load shedding kicking in. Okay, anything like that, just some basic stuff, or even some more advanced if you want. We can go through it. That thing I read out yesterday was quite useful. I don't want to read it all over again because most similar guys are in here. So just a repetitive job. But if you want a repetitive, I'll bring that thing about which I read out yesterday on very strong tips for traders, because you get an enormous amount of them. But I just found personally on point. And after be honest, I think with most of them personally, I like it because it agrees with me. It's amazing what we think is good if it agrees. Now we think it's rubbish if we don't. But so there's a bit of psychological bias there, because it reiterates what I've been shouting and screaming about. You're in two minds. Well, I'll join you on that one. I'm in two minds. I'm not sure the buyer will sell it, so I'm in two minds. I'm not going to sell or buy it now. I've told that one before, that everyone's searching for a one-handed economist. I've told that before, haven't I? We're all looking for a one-handed economist, because every time you ask economists, like you just said, up or down, they'll say, I think it'll go up, but on the other hand. Yeah, sorry, Zeph, you've got, yeah. Your guess is as good as mine on that. If you put a gun against me, I think we might get a bit of a bounce, but it's not good enough. Yeah. Oh, do you hear that? Bloody hell, do you hear that? Hit me, only made a small profit. Oh God, my heart is really crying out for you. Oh no, it hit me bad, I only made a small profit. I wish, oh, that hit me bad, I made a small profit. I'm used to making a big profit. That is dream stuff, that. I thought, well, I didn't see the last three words. Oh no. Okay. Sorry, some of my sympathy is suddenly being withdrawn. God, then put me in a downer then. Halo, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's a good point there, Jethro. I think we should actually now going to discuss that, because we all, including myself, formed that habit of saying, I made 20 winning trades, only 5 losing trades, what a pleasure. But the problem with that, the 5 losing trades all hit the take profit, in this case, the stop loss. In other words, I took my loss at the actual target being hit, which is the SL, but did my other 15 trades, which I call winners, hit the TP. Probably none of them are, but I took a winner in a profit. So that's exactly the point. So we got to, I've been honest with that in the past, when I said, like in the month of, where are we now, in November, I had about a 75% hit rate. I went through all my WhatsApps. I had a 75 hit rate. But the problem with that is, out of the 75% winners, I can't remember how many hit the TP. Some of them did, but a lot of them were taking profit from modified stops in the meantime. So you got to crunch the numbers again and say, right, on my 5, I lost 10 pips every time. Make it units, 10 units every time. So my total loss is 50 units. On my 15 winners added up, and maybe my winning was only maybe 18. So at least I'm ahead of the game, but we don't want the maths to lie to you, which they can often do, by saying those winners hit TP, because clearly they didn't. And I have been upfront on that before, so I'm not going to try and hide behind and say, oh, well, that'll be put out. No, to be fair, that's absolutely correct. As is that, yeah, exactly. The target of the SL is virtually every time a winner, as in being hit. Targeting the TP, not so much. And that's when you get a little bit more knowledgeable and sophisticated, and you can see through some of the blurb. I just have been upfront on that. Okay, but absolutely. Yeah. There you are. And the major part is this lack of follow through. You only know afterwards you should not have moved the SL, or you should have moved the SL after. And that is why it makes it difficult. That's why I've gone for the, modifying stop loss. I still put down a winner, but you've got to take that absolutely into account. Okay. That's why, half the time I don't like having a too wide a stop loss to make it worthwhile to ITP, because it means you're going to be in where too many variables are going to hit in the meantime. But yeah, excellent point. Okay. But that's what I'm trying to do for you guys coming here is we want to have a sense of honesty in the trading room. Because as I say, when you go into outside world out there, there's a lot of, shall we say, figure fiddling to make it look as you want it to look. Yeah. But then the next time you don't do it, and then your winner becomes a loser. So yeah, let's say it's more difficult now. But yeah, what else can I say? I'm repeating myself. You get where I'm coming from. But so I'm bringing into this Marius, but he's doing not too badly, so it can be done. And he hasn't been doing it for years and years. So just know that our times it's tougher. That's why I'm more circumspect. But when it's the good times, then you reap. As I say, we've had trading rooms where everyone's a coconut, then you leap on it. But we all do, including myself, make the mistake of thinking we've cracked it. No, we haven't. I always use golf. You know, you break 60 and you think you cracked the game and you win the bloody major. The next match, the next tournament, you don't make the cut. You know what I'm saying? Golf is probably one of the best areas to use in a similar sort of area of analogy of understanding. Yeah. It might sound a bit of waffle here, but it's just getting the mentality of understanding what's happening correct. Yeah, that's another excellent point. You want to say, I want to beat that damn robot. Yeah, and quite frankly, the robots can often suffer when you get a lot of fundamental interference or lack of decision making, because they can only work on algorithms which lag the price action, because obviously they can't tell the future, they work on the past, and often that doesn't always happen the correct way. Well, a good question again, Gerard. Again, you got to crunch the maths. Can you take the knock when it doesn't? That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? You know, if that one doesn't, I mean, I'll give an example. Right, you can afford to put $1 million in your account, but there's no point in putting $1 million in your account if you can't take the increased loss. In other words, if you've got 10 grand and you've got your risk is 500 Rand per instrument, what's that? 5%, right? Now you put $1 million in, 5% is 50 grand. Can you psychologically handle a 50 grand smack, which will come? If you can't, there's no point in putting the $1 million in, because why put the ante up if you can't take the downside? So yeah, absolutely. If you can take the downside, and you don't know, I mean, you might go to the casino and in theory, red and black should come up 50% of the time. But you get around where black comes up 90% of the time, and red comes up 90% of the time. That's the old area people say, you want to make money, just double up. But it might get a run where you double up, double up, double up, double up, and it still keeps coming until you're entirely wiped out. There is no straightforward answer. There is no all 49 if you would cut to zero, but you know what I'm saying. After Jethro Tull, hey. Yeah. The best way to look at it is this. There's better brains, better computer systems put together than anyone's sitting here have got, haven't come up with this holy grail. So, yeah, the only holy grail is you might get lucky. But will that luck continue to maintain? Yeah. Really? So IT guys, that's part of their resume, or CV as the UK call it. Well, just you ask Jethro, he uses it. It's a robot, basically. It's on here. You see on the screen here, it says Expert Advisor. That's a fancy name of a robot. What you do is you buy, or if you know, might do it for free. I don't know. Anyway, the point is you get a robot will trade on your behalf, and you push into their back-tested algorithms that they'll work on. And there's obviously no emotion involved. They'll just work on that consistently for you. The problem is the robot can't think, so it does not know the PPI, CPI, the non-farms coming up in half an hour. And it might say, right, this is clearly a downtrend on the spike fundamentally. It'll jump on that, and then it'll spike back up again. So yeah, robots, I think, got a chance of working, but I think probably you've got to take costs into account, not cost of robot, but brokerage costs, and preferably short term. There's too many aspects. Emotion fundamentally can interfere with the longer term. This thing as a human being does have the emotion to go on about, but at the same time, in theory, it's supposed to be able to think. And with experience and understanding of applications of fundamentals, the human can take into account. The stage the robot can't really work that out. What they call AI will come, but it's not there yet. It's as far as I know. Yeah, well, there you are. Yeah. I still say, Anna Marie, way to put it is what Jessica put there. He's trying to beat the robot. If you can take that attitude, then you're in control. At the moment, he's spot on there. At the moment, his robot's in control. And he said, I don't trust anyone else's money. Well, he's trusting the machine with his money. So I think what he means psychologically is he wants to be able to be in control himself. So when he can beat the damn robot, then he knows he's in control. So it's actually not a bad attitude there. See if you can beat the damn thing, and then you're in control. Next question about NASDAQ. Missed that, sorry. Right, don't know what the question was, but what do I think is going to happen to NASDAQ? I think it's going to come off. There you are, straightforward answer. Sure. You think it's going to get back up there to 12.5? No, I don't think so. Well, why I'm saying that, the only thing that will change that attitude is some fantastic figures coming down on the lack of inflation, not inflation, but the lack of inflation, that it's working brilliantly. So we say, right, I'm Mr. Powell now. I can say the likelihood of interest rates continue is not going to happen because we're further ahead on target to bring down the inflation rate and our debt problem far ahead than expected. Bang, the dollar fly off, bang, the markets will shoot up. That's a total uncontrollable. Do I think that's likely? No, I don't. I would short the rally still. To buy it now for a move back up again, go for it. You might be right. I personally wouldn't. I would rather short the rally. I personally short the rally a bit higher up. I think the 12,000 is going to hold again, and I'd rather short near the 12,000, take it back down to maybe 11.5 again. The fundamentals out there at the moment, which is unlikely to happen. It's got to be a change of the fundamental debt scenario worldwide for that to happen. I've mentioned before, the debt has been built up over the last, I don't know, since the days of JP Morgan. I don't know, 80 years ago, I don't know, maybe longer, I don't know. It's been kicked down, kicked down, kicked down, kicked down. The can's been kicked down past. It's now coming back to bite. It's like borrowing from one credit card to pay the minimum of the other one until you've run out of credit cards. You can't. Now you've got a problem now, and then that's what happens. So, yeah. Remember, they'll throw more debt at you if you're paying on time. That's why if you don't have any debt and want to get credit, you battle to get it because you've got no track record. You paid everything cash. That's what I say. If you've got a house and it's just about paid off, maybe keep a little bit of debt there, even there's a bit of interest, to have a good credit rating so that if you do need the money on a credit basis, you can grab it quickly at a very reasonable rate. So that's a very, very good. He pays cash for everything. He suddenly wants to borrow money, and I'm massive debt, but I'm always paying on time. I have a better credit rating. So you'll give me a better interest rate than we'll use that paying cash every time. That sounds strange, but that's how the system works. Because they want their money back, but they're sure as I'm busy for the interest. And that's why we've got problems over here. All our GDP to debt is much lower than Japan, the States, and Europe. But we haven't got in South Africa a very good track record of paying when we should be. They have. So they'd rather go to those guys, if you see what I mean. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Can't tell anything on that one. Yeah, agree with you. I think wait till Monday as well, but I agree with the weekly. That's a sell. If there hadn't been so much indecision this last few days, going back to last week actually, I would jump on this immediately and say, forget this is Friday, forget everything else. That's a sell. I agree. But again, hey Jethro, the cat's not out of the bag yet. It's still looking pretty weak. Well, I'm waiting for some strength to creep in on that. The Canadian, which I think is around the corner, is going to come. It's going to strengthen. Then we go buy CAD JPY, sell this one. You get the idea. But Dacia, look how it's been defended. So you're about telling immediately. Should look the weekly. Yeah, sell. Bang, not 20 seconds immediately. So I totally agree with you. If you're highly aggressive, do it now. If you're more conservative, wait till Monday. I will not send that trade out, even if we like it right now. I'm just saying for the trade room because they're in here and they know the score. They know that they're driving over the speed limit, but they're willing to take that risk. Why is that, Mark? Anyway, well, looking at that PPI data, why not? Yeah, Brady, I agree with you, Simon. How long have you been doing this? But you're catching on quick. You just started. Yeah, like it. But yeah, Canadian is still looking a bit weak. Let's look at the Canadian yen. Is anything happening there? Not really. See, it goes up and sells are coming. Maybe that's technically driven more than anything else. That's the only guys doing it is technically driven because the guys have seen that and not breaking through. But yeah, could well be just technically driven. But yeah, I agree with you. Let's have a look at the daily again. See, let's look at the 4 hour. Don't like these sellers, sorry, these buyers coming in here. That's my worry. What do I think is going to happen? Buyer's going to come in, test it again, then it's going to take profit, come off. These are sort of short-term scalpers, high-speed traders as well, drive off. I don't think it's got enough energy to break up, and there's not enough confidence to break down. So it's going to hover. Let's try the hour. Yeah, I think it's going to hover at the moment. And look at this hour here. 10:30, so it's half an hour into the hourly candle. Look at that. Sellers come in. Yep. Buyers come in. You get it. Okay, fair enough. On the CPI, I mean. Yeah. I hear you, but I don't think it's even that. I think it's just short-term trades that dominate at the moment. Grabbing a bit and getting out, not hanging on in there. And that's why you get these small movements. Because they'll go in there, they'll sell it, get out quickly, then go and buy it up and get out quickly and sell it down. That's what's happening. That's where you get movement from. But otherwise, spot on, Brady. I totally agree with you. That's a sell. If you want to take the punt, stop up here. How far away is it? Let's look. Yeah, see, not even a big move. Yeah, if you want to take a risk, maybe 50 odd pips stop, maybe 60 pips stop, maybe a little bit higher. Going back to this month here, where's that now? 17th of May, sorry, 17th of April. That's 8 months ago. So yeah, maybe just above this guy here. Yeah, 60 pips stop, but where we maybe got to look for about 100 down here, 100. Yeah, maybe, yeah, you can probably squeeze it. Actually, it's only, it's a weak candle, isn't it? There's the 100 going to take you on this one. Yeah, down to about there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 since Monday. There you are if you want to take the punt. 60 pips stop, 100 pip TP. There's your punt. But I'm not suggesting you do it. If you want to break the speed limits, your car, you might get lucky. But yeah, that's it. Okay. And want to get any track history on the Brent for the punters? They're not happy chappies either. It's down, that's not that much, it's down about 20 cents, but still. Anyway, hang on in there on that one. I think one punt trade for the day is quite adequate. Okay. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want to discuss? We can do it. Got another half an hour to run. But don't squeeze out some you ain't there, put it that way. It's when the patient discipline comes in. Okay. What's gold doing? I don't mind gold. Hovering. Bloody hell, look at that. Same price about an hour ago. Trying to come down. I tell you what I do like in the 15-minute, because I think some guys they're short there. You know, it tries to go up and the sell's coming in pretty damn quick. So just going to break through this guy here. Get down to maybe break through 1790, might get some movement down. Look at the DXY at the moment, popped up a bit. That's coming off again. It's complete sideways. I'm definitely on there. Manir Barlow, Mr. Barlow, absolutely. Enjoy your weekend, Jethro. Yeah, absolutely. And everybody else. Bit of football tonight to keep you occupied. I think it's the quarters tonight. I'm not big on football, but it's a big deal, this World Cup, so I'm trying to get a bit of interest in it. So there's something. Yeah, well, trying to give it its due. Well, trying to anyway. If you're short to it, depends where you stop and stick with the strategy. So if you've got a strategy, stick with it. I'm assuming you're short on it. If you're long, well, out. But if you're short, stick with the strategy. And look, as we speak now, it's coming off a bit. Ask Gerard, he's in a short. Get some moral support from him. Anna Marie, that sounds great. Not about the washing, that doesn't sound so great, but yeah, that's as well. Have a nice, peaceful weekend. I like it. Okay, fair enough. I'll hold a little longer, which assumes you're in a bit of profit. That's good. Okay, let's go on the daily. Yeah, you're right. Technically speaking, that's the buy. Problem is, you look at the previous history there, the sellers, sellers, sellers. So where are we going to aim at? Maybe take the top here. 60 pips. Where are you going to put the stop? Just below here. 70 pips. You can't get a risk reward unless you think it's going to take there. Why do you think it's going to go there? Do you see continued Canadian weakness? Do you think the dollar's going to strengthen? I'm not sure on either count. And just from a sort of range trade, it's right in the middle of the range. So it doesn't really matter what happens to the dollar or the Canadian necessarily what happens if you get the range trade. So I'll be honest, if this price was down here and you had to stop down here, absolutely, and take it up there, absolutely. It's in the middle of the range, and I don't know whether it's going to break that range or not, and I can't get a risk reward. It's going to be worth my while to go for it. That's my take anyway. Okay, makes sense. Anyone, do anyone want to add to what Pete's asking there? Do you see it? Do you see a buy there? Yes, won't cut it. Say yes, you've got to say why. Do you feel very strong it's going to go up there? Do you think it's going to go up there? Absolutely. But what makes you think that? So the buyers are clearly, yeah, but you haven't reacted. Look at this. Look at this. You've got to aim there. What makes you think it's going to get there? There you are. You get my point. There you are, Mark. Would you go for it there? Do you think you're going to aim at that TP when the crosshair is? Do you think that's likely? What gives you that information that's likely to happen? Only thing like at the moment is this range, and there's not enough there. Even if you take the top of the wicks, and I usually prefer the body. I'm a body man. 3989. Oh, would you? Okay. Down the line, you might be right. You might well be right. Very much unfinished business, yeah. But you see, you get the idea with this. It's not that difficult when you can look at the history and the wicks of the buyers and sellers, take some mystique out and just say, what are the buyers and sellers doing? They don't know. What makes you think you do? I'm looking at the dollar index at the moment on the hourly. Absolute total indecision. It's got a classic doji at the moment. Okay. So, sort of run off ad nauseum about the decision. So we all got that now. Yeah, I think I don't see a trade. We've got to punt out, see how that works out. So at least it's something, even though it is a bit of a punt trade. I think once you can discuss stuff if you like. Any newer guys want to ask a few questions, I'm more than pleased to answer them. It's not a trading session. It's only got 20 odd minutes left in it. It's impossible. But a bit of clarification you're not sure about, just want to repeat again, I can do it. I think everyone's got the dollar index, but it doesn't take 2 seconds just in case you haven't. So I'll just quickly do that in the meantime. Why is the DXY trended down? Yeah, but I hear you, totally fine. It's been down, but that could easily change. A lot of people think that's a bit oversold, it might bounce, but don't know yet. Yeah, there's just not enough out there to call it heads or tails at the moment. Okay. Never used it. Have we got it on here? Sharp trend. I don't know if you've got it on yet. Indicators. Yeah, not sure the trend on an oscillator. So it's not on the trend, it's on the oscillator. We don't have it on here, so I don't think about it. We'll have a look. I'll just click on that, see what it says. Signal also created by kind of stochastic over MACD line using cycle results to improve. Okay, never use it. I mean, we got it anyway. But if you can program it, maybe you can. I'm not that jacked up in IT. Program into it, I don't know. But interesting point. But yeah, if it works, it works. Yeah, like everything else. Tell you what we could do in the last couple of minutes, you like, unless you already know it. On investing.com, it does a lot of technicals for you, as well as the pivot points. Are you all aware of that? Do you want to have a look at that? Don't begin many trades. Those are traders, don't really have to hang around if you want. You've got other stuff to do, because I'm not giving you another trade out. And some of the stuff I might go over is probably already know it. But if anyone wants to look at that, I can stop the share and look at that quickly. Okay. I'll quickly save and have a look at after the meeting. Like a currency strength meter. This thing's getting away. They put the adverts on now, where you can't get rid of the bloody thing. Go away. I'll get rid of it. Okay, just puts it right in your face. You can't get away with it. I have to play around with that. Because that's now to make you, because they spend good money, these adverts, they really invade your space. Can't look at it after you've not played around with it. Okay, yeah. You've seen it, okay. So everyone's seen it. There's no point me wasting your time if you haven't. Candlestick patterns, yeah. Adds them all up. Different moving averages, different stochastics. Make me think of it. And yeah, stochastic crossing another on the shaft trend indicator. That's something. But if you're aware of it, not much point boring you with it. And I don't really like people seeing the strong buy without realizing it's lagging. Because they might just jump in. Just everybody naturally looks for that holy grail. Okay, well, I can't think of anything else, guys. Should we call it a day and then just pray we get something going into next week? It's getting near Christmas. We might get a normal Christmas rally or something like that. Because I know I start to waffle a bit because I want to think something new, but I can't. And the guys are already aware of that. They was aware of that for sure. EuroCAD. Let's try the weekly. Again, resistance there. How far is it to 200? Potential up another couple hundred. I'm not sure I'm yet buying the Canadian to short it, but I'm not that confident to buy the euro at that high point there that the Canadian weakness is going to continue. So I'm not confident to buy it, and I'm not that confident to sell it. I'll come back to that moment. We got a punt trade out. I know you just joined us, Chepo. We've got a punt trade out on that as a buy. Yeah, we'll look at the moment. CAD CHF, that's my quick take on that one. CAD CHF. Again, we're looking for the bounce, but it's not confirmed. We mentioned this earlier on. It's not confirmed that the Canadians are out of the woods yet. So it's still too early to say it. And so it's so oversold. It was very oversold there, remember? Very oversold there. Very oversold here. So it did pop up and bang, came down again. Monday again. Sorry about that, Brady. I know we're trying, but to be honest, I have to go back to chicken again. Sorry. But Link's a nice try. Brent, how's it doing here? We've got a punt in this at the moment. Back up to break even now. We had a punt in this just now. And when I say punt, this is a punt. Okay. Of a $2 stock. Normally I use 4. We've got a $2 stock and a T and a range. A TP, a target at 80, and some guys took it, and it came off a little bit, and it's bounced back up to entry at the moment. So it's trying to move up. Is it going to continue? We'll see. If you want to do the punt, you can do, but it's very much a punt. It's not a trading normal way. I certainly won't be setting up to my guys. If you like it, we'll put it in. 74. We'll use the same got this morning as 0.67. And $80 for the target. So you want to take the punt. I keep saying it. Remember, it's a punt. $34 a micro. Jester has just left. Hey, pretty. Do you know something? Up a couple of cents. Yay. Okay, there you are, if you want to do it. because it seems to be holding on the daily, that line there. See, the red line's getting in the way, but that's not something just put in. It's been there for a while, and it seems to be holding. But it's not getting going to the upside. That's my worry. But anyway, it seems to be holding. I think you can get a bounce personally, because I think some guys are going to square their books the weekend, which means they're going to close or cover their short positions, which means you might get a little bit of a bounce. I feel a lot more confident when it starts taking out 80 bucks, going up and holding. So that's why I made the TP at 80 bucks. There you are. Got that, Sheppo? If you're happy with it, go for it, but don't overexpose, for goodness sake. What's gold doing? Anything happening on gold? DXY is trying to recover a little bit, a bit of a bounce there, I think. Again, short covering. Trying to move down, slow but trying. I'm wishing a lot of luck there, mate. A lot of luck. Go for it. The luck part. Hate to say it, I hope I'm wrong and you win out on that one. What we're talking about now, we're talking about, yeah, very much so. Talking about this one here. Fib from March. Where's March? So let's get this one again. Should be a fib from April 2020. We'll go back to weekly. April 2020. Around about this level here, you're talking about, I presume. Where is April? Around about this level here. Try that if you like. Unless you want to take it, that's a bit of a sharp jump. No. Maybe take it right the way back here. There, it's about a 50th. Okay. That's actually November 19, 2019, the monthly. There you are. Fibonacci. We're searching a bit here. Can take fib from different areas. There, on a weekly or whatever. But yeah, there's a bit of a fib there, it's holding. Yeah, if you do. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm tending towards the bounce. I wouldn't even put it up for you guys. I'm seeing a bit of a bounce there, but just have to be aware. You've got to say, watch your volumes. Okay, I think I'm going to wind this up because it's getting a little bit nowhere at the moment. Yeah, I want you to make money, not you know, get bored and take gambles which may or may not come off. So we've got one gamble out for the day. I don't want to make a habit of it. You know what I'm saying? Some sort of irresponsibility. So I think I can just wind up saying have a great weekend. I hope to goodness we get some action. Maybe the PPI coming out later will give us some guidance to get some sort of follow-through direction. Then when we get the direction, I'm not shutting my mouth off. I personally strongly believe in myself. I'm positive in my belief that I know what I'm doing. When I get that direction, I'm confident I can make full use of it. When I get no direction, I'm very confident I can't make full use of it. So I hope that will make sense. Okay, guys. Yeah, and yourself. Thanks, Brady, and thanks. Yeah, and yourself, Pietro, and everybody. not sure that WAK weekend parts the weekend, but I know what you mean. Yeah, and so yeah, just keep the fingers crossed and keep the powder dry till we get the opportunities, then we clamber on board. Okay, great. See you on Monday morning. Cheers, guys. Yes, so before I go, Mr. Luke, that's absolutely it. That's what creates the panic. Do not go into the big tables if you can't afford it, because you won't be thinking straight. Absolutely.